Okay guys, ethics tayo, no? So dito po, gisimula tayo sa lawyer's oath, syempre, no? So kasi ang prediction natin sa ethics, anywhere from 2 to 6 questions, no? Alam naman nating remedial law ang kasama niyan. So syempre, kung may ipaprioritize tayo sa ang bar examiners, di ba, sa bar exam, yung no? So pag magtatanong man dito, max na yung 6 questions. So sabihin natin, 2 to 6, sabi ko, di ba? 4 tayo. Ang prediction natin dyan, dalawang leg form sa kadalawang hypo. So wag tayo masyadong ma-pressure sa dami ng canons, no? Dami ng babasahin sa ethics kasi nga po, pag malupit ka sa leg forms, kalahati, at least okay ka na. So galingan mo doon sa mga motion for execution, petition for correction of entry, galingan mo dyan, no? Talagang akali mo mabuti hanggang sa dulo. Okay? O ngayon, after doing that, di ko nagagawin po yung leg forms dito, no? Kasi syempre, Ah, ilalagay naman natin siya lahat sa reviewer, no? Basta tsagain nyo na lang, basahin natin ang basahin, no? Ganun talaga, pure memory work yan. Yung petition and judicial affidavit and so on. Okay, ngayon mag-focus po tayo sa pwedeng labasan ng hypo. Like itong lawyer's oath. Alam naman natin na ang lawyer's oath is pwede itong gamitin as legal basis, di ba? Especially yung promoting rule of law, do no falsehood, pervert the law. Di ba? Pag nagpatalbog ng cheque si attorney, pwede natin ipasok yan. Aside sa SIPRA. Di ba? So, yan, no, hindi lang siya nire-recite, no? Pwede siyang, source po siya ng duties, responsibilities ng isang abogado. Okay. So, without further ado, let's go sa revised lawyer's oath, no? So, tandaan nyo sa revised lawyer's oath, may 10 kayong kailangang maisulat. Okay? 10. Pag hindi kayo nakasampo, isipin niya may nakalimutan kayo. Ngayon, tutulungan ko kayo para mas madali nating maalala yung 10 na yan. No? Tandaan nyo, pag ganyan mahaba, yung pinapamemorize sa inyo na parang tula, mahaba, line per line. No? Ang una nyo dapat gagawin is, gagawa kayo ng paraan para ah, ma-shorten natin, no? Mas mapa-konti natin yung mga kailangan nating isaulo. Like, halimbawa, yung mga conjunctive words, that I, hindi pala, that, yung mga that, for, to, no? Tanggalin natin so we can delete those things. No? Siyempre, ilalagay natin siya sa bar, sa sagot natin. Pero for purposes of memorizing these things, may tanggalin nyo na sa isip mo yun. Matik naman, di naman kayo maglalagay sa sagot nyo ng fealty constitution lang, di ba? Fealty to the constitution, ilalagay nyo. Di ba? Alam naman nating mag-English eh. Okay, so gano'n, yun ang una kong tip, no? Pangalawa kong tip, no, we need to make sense of things. Bakit ito nakasulat dyan? Kung kailangan hanapin natin yung reason behind the law, let's do it. The reason behind the provision, let's do it. O provision behind the oath, let's do it. Or kung kaya natin gawa ng examples, much better. Kasi pag examples talaga, yun ang pamatay talaga. Talagang walang tatalo doon pag nagawa mo ng example. Kabisado mo agad yun. Okay? So, ang ginawa po natin dito, pinaiksi muna natin yung lawyer's oath. Revised lawyer's oath, pinaiksi muna natin. After doing that, ito po yung basically mga phrases, 10 items no, na phrases na kailangan nating maalala, makabisado, para hindi natin makalimutan yung inaaral natin, yung ilalagay natin sa bar pag ito tinanong sa atin. Okay, simulan natin. No? So, I do solemnly swear, malamang. No? Lahat naman ng oath, ganyan nagsisimula. I do solemnly swear that I accept the honor, privilege, duty, responsibility sa inyo. Ako nakatingin, hindi ko binabasa na sa likod. I accept the duty or the honor, privilege, duty, responsibility of practicing law in the Philippines, di ba? As an officer of the court in the interest of our people. Okay. Ganito niyo para di niyo makalimutan yan. Gawa natin ng reasoning. Gawa natin ng common sense, reason, no? Bakit nandyan yan? Aba, tama na mga first line. Tama naman ng first line yan. Kasi bago natin sabihin yung consti, yung rule of law, yung justice, yung rights and freedoms, yung access, yung falsehood, pervert na law, bago natin sabihin lahat yan, yung practicing law muna unahin natin. Tama nga naman. Kasi yun ang ina-applyan natin eh. We are applying to become a member of the bar. So practice of law muna dapat ang number one sa listahan natin, di ba? Tama naman yun, no? Tama yung revision talaga na yan. Okay, so ito, para makabisado niyo yung apat na yan, ito tandaan nyo. Ang kapatid ng honor, privilege. Bakit? Pareho yan eh. It's my privilege to become a lawyer. It's an honor to become a lawyer. O, di ba? Ngayon, magkapatid din tong isa. Duty, responsibility. As a lawyer, I have duties. As a lawyer, I have responsibilities. O, dinakabisado niyo yung first line. O ngayon, pag nag-practice ka ng law, tandaan nyo, officer ka ng court. Before ka mag-protekta ng client mo, mag-protekta ka ng sumangguni sa'yo, yung court mo na ang una mo dapat protektahan. Ang court mo na ang una mo dapat serbisyuhan. Kasi first and foremost, you are an officer of the court. Okay? Before protecting your client's interest, you must protect the interest of the court first. Kasi you are an officer of the court. O, di ba? Di na make sense natin yung first line. We're good there. Next is, I shall declare fealty to the Constitution. Sabi niyo fealty, another word for that is loyalty. Okay? Next is, in so doing, ayan, syempre, para di niya makalimutan yung line 2 at saka yung line 3, tandaan niyo magkapatid din yan. Ano ba kapatid ng consti? Law. Young, older brother, younger brother. Rule of law. In so doing, I shall work towards promoting the rule of law. O, di ba? Law. No? In the interest of, and ulit, magpipinsa naman to. Ayan. Truth, justice, freedom. Tapos, tawag dito? Love, equality, peace. Di ba? Magkakapatid yan. No? Siyempre, pag mahal mo isang tao, may equality. Pag may equality kayo, may peace. Something like that. Oh. Truth, justice, freedom. Talagang parang magkakaano yan. No? Talagang similar virtues yan. Di ba? Truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, peace. O, di ba? Now, you make sense of things. O, di nakatatlong lines na tayo. Tandaan nyo yung 2 at saka yung 3 magkapatid. Yung 4, 5, 6 magkakapatid ulit. Okay? Tapos yung 7, 8 magkapatid. Tapos 9 and 10 magkapatid din. Basically, instead of memorizing 10 separate lines that you have to mention sa bara, pag ito tinanong na, recite the revised lawyer's oath. Pag yan ang tinanong, may 10 kayo dapat sabihin. Pero yung 10 nyo dapat sabihin, marami pong clusters yan. Like ito, solo yan. In practicing law. Okay, solo yan. Walang kapatid yan. One cluster, second cluster, third cluster, fourth cluster. So basically, 5 clusters lang ang isipin nyo sa bar. Practicing law, itong constitution at saka law, one class, second cluster, justice, rights, freedoms, access, third cluster, falsehood, pervert the law, fourth cluster, and then last one is faithfully discharge at saka itong impose upon myself. Impose all this upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Fifth cluster. Kung isipin nyo, ano yan? Yung una, practice of law. Yung pangalawa ay batas. Okay? Yung pangatlo, justice. Justice, rights, access. Itong pang-apat, huwag kang gagawa ng kasalanan, basically. Falsehood, no pervert the law. Yung last is yung, basically, obligasyon mo na. I impose upon myself. O, di ba? I impose all this upon myself. Di ba? I will faithfully discharge. Di ba? These duties and responsibilities. Di ba? Tawag dito? To the best of my abilities, yan, integrity and utmost civility. Oh, di ba? Okay, so from the top, no? Anyway, conscientiously, no? Consciensya, at saka courageously work for justice and safeguard the rights and meaningful freedoms of sino? Of, tatlo yan, people, identities, communities. Hindi na kumasya. Tatlo yan. People, identities, communities. Tapos next is, I shall ensure greater and equitable access to justice. Ano mo, equitable? Sorry, equitable. Baliktad. Equitable. Okay. Last couple of lines. Yan, I shall do no falsehood nor pervert the law, no? To unduly favor or prejudice anyone. And yan, I shall faithfully discharge these duties and responsibilities, no, to the best of my abilities, tawag dito, integrity, utmost civility, and then I impose all this upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Na-memorize natin lahat. From the top, okay, hindi ako titingin sa sa dito, hindi ako titingin dyan. Sabihin natin, i-move na, anyway, hindi lang ako titingin dyan. Nakatingin ako sa inyo. No? So, simulan natin, di ba? I do solemnly swear that I accept Ayan, the honor, privilege, duty, responsibility of practicing law in the Philippines as an officer of the court, okay, in the interest of our people. I shall declare fealty to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. In so doing, no, I shall work towards promoting the rule of law. Okay, nawala ako. In promoting the rule of law in the interest. Okay, naalala. In the interest of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, peace. Yan. Okay. Tapos next is, I shall conscientiously and courageously work for justice. Naku, nakabisado na hanggang dulo. For justice and safeguard the rights and meaningful freedoms of all persons, identities, and communities. Okay? I shall ensure greater and equitable access to justice. Okay? Tapos next is, ay nakatingin ka sa taas, wala akong tinitingnan. I shall do no falsehood nor pervert the law. Okay? To unjustly prejudice. Naku, may nakalimutan ko isa. To unjustly prejudice. Bias ba isa? Favor. Doon ako nakakatamali. Favor anyone. Tapos, I shall faithfully discharge. Ayan. These duties and responsibilities. Okay? To the best of my ability, integrity, utmost-ability, I impose all this upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. O, lawyer na ako. Di ba? O ngayon, no? So how do we memorize all these things, no? Paano ginagawa ko sa isip ko? Para kahit pa paano 99, 90, motik ko ng mga 100%. 95% nakuha nyo. Tandaan nyo, dapat meron kayong foundation sa each line. So, ginawa natin, di ba, instead of one whole paragraph, basically, nagturo na rin ako sa inyo na how to study. Study tips, okay? Memorization tips. Eto, sarili ko lang, wala akong inaaral na, wala akong pinuntahang seminar ng memory mastermind, wala akong pinuntahan na gano'n. No? Ito lang yung ginamit ko para makapasa ako sa bar, okay? So, para maalala nyo lahat, no, kailangan, you need to condense, no? So, di ba, napakahaba ng mga linya sa lawyer's oath. Paiksiin natin. After natin paiksiin, hindi dapat lahat kabisaduhin nyo. Ang dapat nyo, meron dapat kayong compass. Parang meron kayong foundation for each. Ito yun. For each, ayan. Meron dapat kayong foundation for each line. So, di ba, 10, for each item. Di ba, 10 items to, 10 things. O yung una nyo kailangan maalala, practicing law yung una. O next, constitution. O next, rule of law. Ano yung after nun? Justice. After nun, ano? Rights, freedoms. Bang, bang. Okay, next is access. O naka-anim na tayo. 7, 8, 9, 10, ano? Falsehood, pervert the law. Ang tawag ito? Discharge. Okay, faithfully discharge. Okay, I shall faithfully discharge these duties and responsibilities to the best of my ability. Tama? Okay, integrity and atmosphere. Tapos last is, I impose all this upon myself. Okay? Ganon. O so ngayon, di ba, yung kaninang haba-haba sa lawyers, mahirap. Pero pag kinondense natin ang kinondense, achievable na, 10 na yan. Di ba? Para ka lang nag-memorize ng exceptions na may except. Di ba? Para ka lang nag-memorize ng, 10 city sa Pilipinas. O di ba? Ganyan lang yan. No? Basically, lahat ng nasa NCR, nakasampu ka na. Parang ganun lang. Di ba? Okay. So, one more time. One more time, titingin ulit ako sa iba, no? Kung kaya ko nang kabisaduhin. Okay. Ayan. So, okay. I do solemnly swear that I accept the honor, privilege, duty, responsibility of practicing law in the Philippines as an officer of the court in the interest of our people. I shall declare fealty to the Constitution. In so doing, I shall promote, I shall work towards promoting the rule of law, okay? In the interest of truth, justice, freedom, peace, love, ano ba yan? Love, equality, peace. Ayan. Tapos, I shall conscientiously and courageously work for justice and safeguard the rights and meaningful freedoms of all persons, identities, and communities. I shall ensure greater and equitable access to justice, no? I shall do no falsehood, nor pervert the law, no? To unjustly favor or prejudice anyone. Naaalala ko na, doon ako nagmintis kanina, no? I shall faithfully discharge these duties and responsibilities to the best of my ability, integrity, and utmost ability. Tapos, I impose all this upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Kabisado ko na. Di ba? We going in, bro. O, sige, next tayo. Okay, pwede na. In a regime of truth pala. Yun ang isa kong mali pala. In a regime. Hindi ka ba nasabi regime, no? Tama pala nilagay ko din dito, no? So, edit natin ang concept. Anyway, pwede na yun. No? Papayagan ka na siguro i-5/5 dun sa bar. Rule of law, regime. Yan. Hindi ko kasi nailagay, no? Magandang word pala siya, regime. No? Diba? Ganyan, guys. Okay, next tayo, no? So tandaan nyo itong lawyer's oath, revised lawyer's oath, source of obligation siya. Ba't ko sinasabi yan lagi? Kapag kinabahan kayo sa bar at hindi nyo alam kung anong legal basis ang gagamitin nyo to address na unethical o illegal yung ginawa ng abogado, pwede nyo gamitin to. Ang sa akin, catch all siya. Okay, catch all. Catch all siyang parang hindi siya provision eh, pero catch all siyang legal basis. For problems in the bar sa legal ethics. Okay, next. So speaking of catch-all, dun sa a lawyer shall not, diba? A lawyer shall not perform any unlawful, deceitful, immoral, dishonest conduct. Okay, that's another, no? Tandaan nyo, yung pa isa. You did, ang ano ko dyan, you did conduct. Ang abbreviation ko for that. Pag kinabahan tayo ulit, di natin alam kung ano, ganyan lang naman talaga dapat ang ethics, may baong ka. No? Kapag kinabahan ka, yan ang gagamitin mo. You did conduct. Kasi lahat po ng kamali ang ginawa ng abogado, papasok dyan. Di ba? Kapag conflict of interest, humawak ka ng kaso na may conflict of interest, papasok yan dyan. Saan? Pwedeng dishonest, unlawful, o di ba? We're good. Pag nagkaroon ng fraudulent activity abogado, unlawful at saka deceitful. Pag nangabit ang isang abogadong may asawa, immoral, saka unlawful. Andun lahat. Okay? Pag itinago, tinakbo ng lawyer ang pera ng kliyente, unlawful at saka dishonest. Di ba? Estapa yan eh. Nagpatalbog ng cheque, unlawful yan. Di ba? So ayan, mga examples lang po no, ng you did conduct. Misrepresentations in the pleadings. Okay? Ano pa? Misrepresentation in entering into contracts fraudulent. Yung contract basically voidable. O de, pasok din. Unlawful deceitful. Di ba? Yung misrepresentation in the pleadings, no, may uh, basically, ano ba example ng misrepresentation in the pleadings? Mali yung pagkaka-quote, no? Basically, may records, no? May evidence, tapos mali yung i-quote dun sa kasi kukunin yung excerpt ng parang exhibit eh, no? Ito, blah blah blah, that's how you will make your position, your allegations, no? If purposely i-misquote mo, deceitful siya, unlawful din, di ba? Okay, next. Forum shopping, di ba? Forum shopping is dishonest, unlawful din. Lahat naman unlawful eh, di ba? Next, sexual infidelity, di ba? Unlawful, immoral, no? Common example yan, by the way, pag natanong kayo sa bar, common example yan. Pwedeng tanongin kayo ng no code of judicial conduct aspect or pwedeng lawyer, hindi judge. Okay, so pag no code of, pag judge yung, syempre, nagkaroon ng sexual infidelity doon sa bar question, pwedeng, wag niyo nang gamitin tong SIPRA, mag no code of judicial conduct tayo, impropriety ang sagot dyan, which we will tackle later on. Yan pa yung isang, talagang malaking scope, no? Malaking coverage talaga sa no code of judicial conduct, yung impropriety na yun. Next is advising clients to commit illegal acts, no? Tinuturoan ng mga, alam mo na, ano? Tinuturoan ng mga paano maiwasan yung paano mag-tax evasion, mga ganyan, no? Unlawful. Bouncing checks. Notarizing a document without all parties being present. Di ba? Violation niya ng notarial practice rule. Pero on top of, aside from that, unlawful siya. Ano pa? Dishonest, deceitful. Di ba? Ba't ka notaryo mo? Wala naman lahat ng parties. Wala naman lahat ng parties doon sa presence mo. And ano pa? Allowing non-lawyers to practice law. Paano po usual example ng non-lawyers inaalaw mo mag-practice ng law? Pinapipirma naman ang ginagawa talaga, di ba? Pinapipirma ng notaryo, sekretarya, unlawful, deceitful pa, dishonest pa. Diba? So, andun lahat, no? Okay. So, nabanggit ko na yung notary, yung ginagawa sa notaryo, no? So, ipasok natin. Delegation to a non-lawyer. Okay? A lawyer shall not delegate to or permit a non-lawyer, including a paralegal, no? Tandaan nyo yung A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H na yan. Pero kung hindi nyo kayang kabisaduhin, no? Kung mahirapan kayo, lagay nyo na lang, a lawyer shall not delegate to or permit a non-lawyer, including a paralegal, to practice law. No? A lawyer shall not assist in the unauthorized practice of law. Pwede nyo sabihin ganun. No? Pero syempre, kung halimaw talaga, no? Kung talagang aral tayo, maganda ano nyo, makabisado nyo yung hanggang H na yan. Kasi, papasok dyan sa, for sure, no? Itatanong sa bar, kung magtatanong sa delegation to a non-lawyer, ano, papasok dyan sa A to H na yan, for sure. No? Accept cases on behalf of the lawyer and so on and so forth. Okay. So ano po usual na delegation na ginagawa to a non-lawyer? Yun nga, pinapipirma ng pleading. No? Kino-forge yung pirma ni attorney doon sa pleading. So, unang-una, unlawful yan, deceitful pa, dishonest pa. Di ba? Forgery yan eh. Di ba? Falsification of public document nga yan eh, di ba? Public document. On top of that, you permitted a non-lawyer to engage in the practice of law. Okay? So, ayan. No? Isa pang classic example is notarizing a document. Next, referral fees. Ayan, maganda. Tandaan niyo, ito pong lahat ng itinatakal ko sa inyong topics. Ito kasi nangyayari talaga in real life madalas. No? Referral. No? Siyempre, bago magkaroon ng client si attorney, iba dyan, karamihan dyan referral. No? Kasi ang abogado, papasok later on, soliciting legal business, kaya pinasok yun na next topic natin. Di ba ang abogado, hindi naman pwede mag-solicit ng legal business eh. So how can a lawyer, uh, tawag dyan, acquire clients? No? Ang number one way talaga dyan is referral system. Di ba referral? O ngayon, pag kapwa mo abogado ang nag-refer, okay. Okay? Pag non-lawyer ang nag-refer, okay din. Pero ang problem po, yung referral fee. Yan. Pwede mag-refer, anyone can refer to you. Di ba? Pwede yung dati mong client nag-refer sa'yo. That's fine. Pwede ang nag-refer sa'yo, yung kaibigan mo, yung kapatid mo, pwede kahit sino. Ang problema lang po, pag nagkaroon na ng referral fee. Tandaan nyo, ang kapwa-abogado, pwede mo bigyan ng referral fee. Okay? Pero ang non-lawyer, hindi mo pwedeng bigyan ng referral fee. So, doon muna tayo sa abogado. Ano po ang requirements para magkaroon ng referral fee ang isang abogado? No, nag-refer. A lawyer shall, in case of referral of legal services, in favor of another lawyer, no, with the written informed consent of the client, be entitled to a division of fees in proportion to the work performed and responsibility assumed. So, ano po yung important dyan? No? Written informed consent of the client. Dapat po, nagkaroon ng written informed consent yung client mo bago ka magbigay ng referral fee sa ibang lawyer. Kailangan, sinabi mo sa client mo na na magkakaroon ng referral fee ng refer sa iyo sa client. Ayun. Written informed consent. Okay? Next is, paano pag non-lawyer? Paano pong nangyayari? Gawa natin ng example, si accountant. Siyempre, si accountant, may ino-audit. Meron siyang mga kliyente. O ngayon sabihin natin yung kliyente nagkaroon ng problem sa tax case. No? BIR. Siyempre, kailangan ng lawyer. Si accountant ngayon, na hindi lawyer accountant, hindi siya CPA lawyer, accountant. Ni-refer yung tao, yung nagkaroon ng tax case na kliyente niya sa isang abogado. Si accountant daw pwedeng bigyan ng referral fee? The answer is no. A lawyer shall not share, split, or divide, or stipulate to divide, directly or indirectly, a fee for legal services. with persons or organizations not licensed or authorized to practice law. Yan ang usual. Si accountant, ganun yun eh. Parang ano yung relationship nila eh. Symbiotic relationship. O si attorney naman, pag may client na malaki, corporation, naging siyang CORSEC, o naging retainer siya, consultant, o ipapasa niya doon sa accountant. O ikaw mag-audit doon sa corporation. Ganun, di ba? Kapag si accountant naman, may client, no, yearly, ino-audit, taga-file siya ng tax return nung kliyente na to. Pag may problema sa legal, bigay kay attorney. Tandaan nyo, sabi sa SIPRA, bawal bigyan ng fee. You cannot divide a fee. You cannot divide your lawyer's fees and then you give it. You cannot share lawyer's fees, legal fees to a non-lawyer. Pwede sa lawyer if mayroong written informed consent by the client. Next, soliciting legal basis. Ito, prediction ko baka matanong. Especially ngayon na ano na tayo, social media na. Okay? So ano nakalagay dyan, no? I encourage you to memorize this paragraph. No? Kasi marami pong pagkukunan ng tanong dito. A lawyer shall not directly or indirectly solicit or appear to solicit legal business. Okay, doon pa lang, no? Kung kinabahan tayo, hindi natin masabi lahat ng nasa paragraph, okay na tayo doon. Solicit legal business. So paano? Pag ambulance chasing, 'di ba? Nag-encourage suit. Combine na 'yan, 'di ba? A lawyer shall not file or encourage the filing of any suit. Pag nag-encourage ka ng suit, dalawang na-violate mo. Yung una mong na-violate na canon, na provision. A lawyer shall not file or encourage the filing of any suit. Pangalawa mong na-violate is ito. A lawyer shall not solicit legal business kasi pag nag-encourage ka ng suit, nagsusolicit ka rin ng legal business, paano yan? Alam mo, pwede mo file ng kaso yan. Yung mga ganyan dialogue. O di, sige, nag-file naman nga ng kaso at tutulungan nga siya ni attorney. Ano nangyari? Dalawa ang na-violate na canons. Encouraging suit at saka soliciting legal basis. Next sentence. A lawyer shall not directly or indirectly advertise legal services on any platform or media. Except, ang general rule po is, you do not advertise your legal services. Okay? Except ano? If dignified, verifiable, factual information. Okay, including biographical data, contact details, fields of practice, services offered, and the like. So as to allow a potential client to make an informed choice. So marami tayong pwedeng himayin dito. As a general rule, bawal kang mag-advertise ng legal services mo sa social media or sa newspaper, sa TV, you cannot. May exceptions, may mga paraan pwede. Dignified, verifiable, factual information. Ano po example ng dignified? Sabihin natin, sa ano na lang, social media apps, no? Nag-post ka. I will conduct a free legal advice session, no? From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. via Zoom. Okay. Here is the link, no? The link is in the comment section. Please join my meeting, something like that. Pag po ganun, pwede yun. Kasi that is dignified. Okay? That is dignified. Kasi you are offering free legal services na nga eh. Di ba? You're actually, kung bawal ka sa lawyer's oath, you are, tag dito, ito. Di ba? Pinopromote mo. Equitable access. Di ba? To justice. Okay? And you are also doing your responsibility as a lawyer. Diba? Kasi you are giving legal services for free. Kasi nga, lawyering is not a profit-making venture. It is a privilege. Diba? So yeah. It is a responsibility. Okay? So okay yun. No? Anyway, natanong naman din sa bar yan. No? May natanong po sa bar before, ala pa naman kasing social media nung time na yun ata. Sa newspaper nilagay. Free legal services nakalagay. Tapos yung pangalan and so on ni attorney and yung contact information, that is considered as ethical. Okay, dignified. Ano pa ang requirement dito? Verifiable and factual information. Tandaan nyo, kapag nag-advertise ng legal services, sabihin natin, kailangan full ang information. Kaya maraming sinabi dyan. Biographical data, contact details, field of practice. Kapag inilagay nyo, sabihin natin, no? Sabihin natin, pinost nyo na you just opened your, hindi naman pala soliciting legal advice yun. Yun, isa pa yun. Okay lang yun. Nag-post kayo ng post saying na we just opened our law firm. Actually, you're not soliciting legal advice. You're just posting your, your journey. Di ba? As a professional. Di ba? You're just posting your life. Basically, so hindi pala siya dito. You're not advertising, no? Basta pinost mo lang na nag-open kayo, di kayo naglagay dyan ng dialogue na consult with us anytime. Pag mga may ganun dialogue, advertising legal services na yan. Pero if you just posted, my opinion that you opened a law office in Pampanga, sabihin natin, in Bulacan, that's not advertisement. Okay lang siya. No? Anyway, no, so if we can consider that as advertisement, we can say na dignified siya. And at the same time, verifiable and factual information. Kasi malamang magpo-post ka ng law firm mo, nakalagay doon yung pangalan nyo. Sabihin natin, Rogel, law firm. Nakalagay, di ba? O di verifiable. Di ba? Tapos, makikita naman doon sa Facebook page o sa Facebook post, yung profile, nakalagay sa taas. O Facebook mo pinost, no? Kasi naman ang usual app, no? Nakalagay na may pangalan. Baka nag-post doon yung name partner, si Attorney Anselmo Rogel. O di okay. Di ba? It's verifiable. No, pag kinlik yun, makikita yung full details. O kung naka-Facebook page, makikita mo yung complete details. So, it's dignified, verifiable, and factual. Okay, move na tayo doon sa gusto ko talagang i-point out sa inyo. Nakalagay dito is, in no case shall the permissible advertisement be self-laudatory. Okay. Tanong, what is self-laudatory? Yan. Yan po ang kalaban ng, tandaan nyo, yung self-laudatory na word na yan ang kalaban ng dignified. Self-laudatory means praising one's self or praising one's own achievements. Basically, ego booster. Ganyan, okay? Basically, you are praising yourself by publishing this, by uploading this, by advertising this, by disseminating this, by distributing this. No? Ano pong usual example niyan? Pag nanalo ng kaso, ipopost na, I just won a case, and so on and so forth. Yung mga ganyang post, if ikaw ang nag-post as a lawyer, yan po, hindi dignified yan. Okay? And we can say na indirectly, advertising, yung pala, no? So, sorry. Pag pala nag-post ka ng law firm, na nag-open ka ng law firm, we can say na advertisement yun of legal services indirectly. Malamang, sinabi mo, nag-open ka ng law firm. Ano expectation mo dyan? Di ba? Sinabi mo nag-open ka. Siyempre, may magko-consult. May magpapanotaryo. Okay? So, ganun din dito, no? Pag nag-post ka ng, we just won a case, we just won an annulment of marriage case, no? In 2 years, sabihin natin ganun. Something along those lines. That is self-laudatory because you are praising yourself by posting your achievement. That is not dignified. O, yun. And indirectly advertisement of legal services. Yan, bakit? Pinakita mo na panalo ka sa annulment of marriage case. Ano ang ibig sabihin yan? Na dapat, di ba, ikaw ang kuning lawyer pag may annulment of marriage case na iba. Di ba? O, yun ang ibig sabihin dyan. Okay? Ngayon, hindi siya dignified kasi it's self-laudatory. O, yun ang magkalaban, ha? Dignified, self-laudatory. Baka tanungin kayo. Ano pa yung mga example ng self-laudatory? Expert in commercial law. Ganyan. Expert in corporate law. Yung salitang expert, self-laudatory yun. Who are you to say na expert ka? Yung mga ganyan, di ba? Sa ibang bansa po pwede, no? If you can see sa US, yung mga ganyan billboards. Malalaking billboards talaga. Personal injury lawyer, call now. Ganun, mga ganun. Bawal yun sa atin, no? Mas tayo dyan, strict. Okay? Anyway, kanya-kanya naman yan, di ba? Kung ano yung law sa kanila, iba naman sa atin. Kanya-kanya, walang mali o tama. Kung uh, yun ang principles nila, di ba? We respect that. Pero sa atin, bawal po yan, no? A small announcement that an attorney is giving free legal advice in a tabloid is ethical. A pictorial press release showing that an attorney is being congratulated for winning a multi-million case is unethical for being self-laudatory. Ito yung mga dialogue. Fast and sure, expert, competent, reasonable fees, undignified yung mga yan. Okay? Kasi naging siyang legal business na talaga. And self-laudatory nga. Okay? Yun ang mga reasonable fees. Di ba? Competent, expert, fast, and sure to win. Lahat yan, self-laudatory. Undignified. Yung po reasonable fees, legal basis na talaga yan. Soliciting legal basis ka na kasi may ginawa mo ng presyuhan eh. Okay? Oh, yun. You get the point, no? So, nabanggit ko na rin na may solicit legal business. Punta na tayo sa Champer 2 agreement, no? What is a Champer 2 agreement or Champer T, no? Tandaan niyo may dalawang requisites. First requisite is the lawyer will shoulder the expenses and cost of the case. And the legal fees of the lawyer will only be paid if he is successful in handling the case. Ano pong pagkakaiba ng contingency fee arrangement at saka Champer 2 arrangement? Ang Champer 2 arrangement po, si attorney ang maggagastos sa kaso para tumakbo. Tapos, magkakaroon lang siya ng bayad kapag nanalo siya sa kaso. Ano naman po yung contingency fee agreement? Doon po, ganun din, no? Si attorney magkakabayad lang kapag nanalo sa kaso. Pero iba po ang mag-handle ng fees sa pag-handling ng kaso, expenses and cost of filing the case, proceeding with the case. Ang mag-handle po nun, yung kliyente. Yun ang pagkakaiba. Ang contingency fee arrangement po, valid. Ang Champer 2 arrangement, invalid. Ano ang pagkakaiba? Yung who will shoulder the expenses and cost of filing, prosecuting, proceeding with this case. Kapag Champer 2, si attorney. Kapag contingency, si client. O, yun ang valid. No? Okay, no problem. No? Next tayo, yung conflict of interest. No? Ito po ang isa sa mga important. Ito, saka yung attorney-client privilege, last three topics, at saka termination of engagement. No? Yan ang mga, ano talaga, karamihan po, no? Based sa bar stats namin, karamihan ng lumalabas na tanong sa bar exam. Okay, doon tayo sa conflict of interest. No? Sa conflict of interest, maraming doctrines dyan eh. Pero ito ang ipasok nyo sa isip nyo. No? This is stated in Supreme Court cases. No? Tandaan nyo to. Sabihin natin, hinawakan mo yung kaso ni Mr. A sa annulment of marriage case niya. No? Sabihin natin, hinawakan mo. Ang kalaban mo siyempre doon, yung wife. Later on, after a decade, hinawakan mo ngayon, kaso naman nung wife. Laban naman kay Mr. A. Pero iba yung kaso na ito. Sabihin natin, collection of sum of money case. O, yung una nating kaso, annulment of marriage case. Mr. A versus Miss B. After 10 years, hinawakan mo na may kaso ni Miss B. Collection of sum of money against Mr. A. Basically, pareho yung parties, iba yung pinaglalabanan natin. Yung una, annulment of marriage. Yung pangalawa, collection of sum of money. Tanong, unethical ba yun? The answer is yes. That is unethical. Ito po ang doctrine, no? Nakalagay sa Supreme Court case. A lawyer is prohibited from representing no clients whose interests oppose those of a former client in any manner, whether or not they are parties to the same action or totally unrelated cases. Why? This is because of the principles of public policy and good taste. Basically, in taste na lang, no? Kahit tandaan niya, ano nakalagay dyan? In any manner. Una. And even if totally unrelated yung kaso. Ang sagot po dyan, unethical. Basically, ano lang po yan in other words. Kapag hinawakan mo na ito, ikaw, sabihin natin, naging kliyente kita. Okay, at some point in your life, hindi na kita hindi pwede maging defendant ka. Tapos ako yung hindi pala. Pag hinawakan kita, pag ikaw yung naging kliyente ko at some point in our lives, never kung pwedeng hawakan yung kalaban mo. Okay? Tandaan nyo yun ha. Never kung pwedeng hawakan yung kalaban mo. Kahit na totally unrelated yung case. Ano po yung kaso dito? Paces Industrial versus Attorney Salandanan. Okay? Paces Industrial Corporation versus Attorney Salandanan. Okay? It is explicit. Ayan. It is explicit that a lawyer is prohibited from representing new clients, ayan, whose interests oppose those of a former client in any manner, whether or not they are parties in the same action or totally unrelated cases, no? This is founded on principles of public policy and good taste, no? Marami pang kaso, no, na ito ay nabanggit, no? Orola versus Attorney Ramos, 2013. Marami siya. Ah, ito pa, 2023 case. Request of the Public Attorney's Office to delete Section 22. Ay, naku, landmark case pala to, no? Landmark case. Okay. Tama ba ako? This rule? Yep. Ano pa ang kaso? Mabini versus Attorney Pajarillo. Napakadaming kaso niyan. So yan ang una kong gusto sabihin sa inyo, guys. Pag tinanong kayo ng ganyan, nung kahit na magkaibang kaso talaga, pero yung una mong kliyente, magiging kalaban mo ngayon, hindi mo pwedeng hawakan. Tandaan niyo yan. Wala nang dapat si Papa kayong kabisaduhin dyan. Tandaan niyo ha, matik yan, bawal. Okay? Matik yan, bawal. Okay? Case law, gagamitin natin dyan. Next, paano pag prospective? Ay, hindi pala. Attorney-client privilege pa rin. Okay, lumaktaw, lumaktaw. Balik tayo sa conflict of interest, no? Okay, ito. Paano kapag halimbawa, kasi ganito, no? Pag naging lawyers na kayo, may mga law firms kasi na, wala naman silang pakialamanan sa hinahawakan nilang kaso, kaya sila naging law firm para share-share lang sa renta, wifi, di ba? Yung kuryente, tubig, para share-share lang, no? Ma-allocate, no, mabawas nila yung gasto sa overhead. So ang gagawin nila, maglo-law firm sila pero walang pakialamanan sa kaso. Ngayon, during their practice, no, hindi nila alam na yung isa palang lawyer doon, sabi lima sila, lahat sila name partners. Yung isa palang lawyer doon, may hinawakan kaso. Tapos after 1 year, yung kabilang lawyer, hinawakan din yung kaso, totally opposite. Ayan. Magkalaban basically, no? So opposing parties. Ayan. Ito po ang sabi ng case law. Case law dictates that an organization of individual lawyers which, albeit engaged as a collective, assigns legal work to a corresponding handling lawyer. It behooves the law firm to value coordination, no? In deference to the conflict of interest rule. If there is lack of coordination, it would intolerably render the law firm's client's secrets vulnerable to undue and even adverse exposure, eroding in the balance of lawyer-client relationships primordial ideal of unimpaired trust and confidence. No? So, we need to make sure na alam natin yung hinahawakan na kaso ng isa't isa. Kahit na wala tayong pakialam sa mga kaso na hinahawakan natin kasi nag-share lang naman tayo ng kuryente and utilities. Okay? Okay, yun lang. Tandaan nyo na may mga nakalagay pa dyan. Yung the test is whether or not in behalf of one client, it is the lawyer's duty to fight for an issue or claim, but it is his duty to oppose it for the other client. May mga ganyan dialogue, di ba? Yun yung test na nakalagay sa CIPRA. Tandaan nyo, nakalagay po sa case law, it's even broader. Kahit na you are not, even if you're not duty to fight for one and then to oppose and then duty to oppose for the other, kahit walang ganun. Kahit na totally separate yung cases and kahit na isang dekada na ang span, hindi mo pwedeng hawakan kung naging client mo at some point in your life. Hindi ka pwedeng humawak ng kaso adverse to his interest. For good taste, di ba? And ano isa? Nakalimutan ko yung public policy. Okay? Yung organization sinasabi ko sa inyo sa law firm, the name of that case is wala. Anglo versus Attorney Sioson, no? 2015 case. Anglo versus Attorney Jose Maria V. Valencia pala. Anglo versus Valencia. Okay? Next tayo, attorney-client privilege. Tandaan niyo sa attorney-client privilege, ang usual po na tanong dyan yung prospective client. Kasi yan naman ang nangyayari talaga. Pag naging kliyente mo na yan, talagang hindi mo i-divulge at, di ba? Ganun naman normally ang isipin nyo na lang, common sense. Kapag nagkaroon na ng acceptance fee na, nagkaroon na ng engagement, talagang hindi mo i-divulge yan kasi baka masira yung kaso mo. Kailan po alam mo naman ng Pilipino, medyo masitsit, no? Kailan normally nagsasalita yung natin? Kailan nagkakaroon ng violation ng attorney-client privilege? Kapag prospective client lang. Sumangguni lang sa'yo for legal advice. Sabihin natin, binida mo sa kaibigan mo, sa tropa mo, na hindi mo naman ka-partner sa firm. Yan na violate ng attorney-client privilege. Kasi sabi po sa CIPRA, a lawyer shall maintain the private confidences of a prospective client, even if no engagement materializes, and shall not use any such information to further his own interest or the interest of any current client. Actually, kahit nga kalimutan nyo ni further your own interest at saka yung interest of any current client, stuck na lang tayo. You shall maintain the private confidences of prospective clients even if no engagement materializes. Yun ang kabisaduhin nyo. Maintain private confidences of whom? Prospective client even if no engagement materializes. Yan ang pwedeng itanong sa inyo. Kasi hindi porket legal advice lang hiningi sa inyo, i-divulge na yung facts na sinabi. Yung istorya na sinabi sa inyo ng prospective client do sa legal advice. Kasi alam naman natin na hindi lahat ng legal advice nagiging kaso, nagiging engagement. Or pwede nag-legal advice sa inyo pero ibang lawyer ang kinuha. Pwede yun. It's their right, di ba? It's their freedom to choose the lawyer that they want. Di ba? Pero pag humingi ng legal advice sa iyo, hindi mo pwedeng i-divulge yung sinabi. Okay? Last na pwede itanong sa inyo, no? Yung future fraud, future crime at saka present crime, present fraud. Tandaan nyo, sabihin natin, a client committed the crime, a person committed the crime of murder. Ngayon, sabi ni client, I want to engage you as counsel. Okay, sabi mo, no? May pirma kayo, engagement, agreement, and so on and so forth. Covered po ng attorney-client privilege yan. Kung ano man yung sasabihin sa inyo ng client. Covered yan lahat. Okay? Kasi, ah, gagamitin natin yung sa rules of court, no? Hindi sa SIPRA. An attorney, di ba, cannot, without the consent of his client, be examined as to any communication made by the client to him or her or to his advice thereon in the course of or with the view of professional employment. Di ba? Yun. Ano po ang exception dyan na pwedeng i-divulge ng lawyer in court? Pag future crime or fraud, sabihin natin, nagawa na. Tapos later on sinabi, naku attorney, parang paano bang gagawin natin? Gusto kong estapahin to. Sinabi sa'yo. Tapos later on, nag-istapa ng tao talaga yung client mo na yun. Can you divulge the fact that he sought advice from you on how to conduct this fraudulent activity? Pwede, yes. Kasi tandaan nyo, nakalagay po sa rules on evidence, furtherance of crime or fraud is not covered by attorney-client privilege. No? If the service or advice of the lawyer were sought or obtained to enable or aid anyone to commit or plan to commit what the client knew or reasonably should have known to be a crime or fraud. O, yan. Hindi pwede. Okay? Kasi pag future fraud, hindi na siya covered ng attorney-client privilege. Kapag present and he secured your services because of the present crime that he committed. Because of the crime that he committed. Hindi pala present. Because of the crime that he committed. Tanggalin niyo, kalimutan niyo present. Because of the crime that he committed or the fraudulent act that he committed, that is covered by attorney-client privilege. Okay. So, ito pa isa, no? So, pag sinagot naman natin siya ng SIPRA, no? What are the three requisites for there to be attorney-client privilege? First is there exists an attorney-client relationship. Next is the client make the communication in confidence. And lastly, the legal advice must be sought from the attorney in his professional capacity. Okay, so yung palang first requisite is there exists an attorney-client relationship or a prospective attorney-client relationship, and it is by reason of this relationship that the client made the communication. So yan, basta relationship, communication, advice. Okay? Pero tandaan nyo, future fraud is not covered by attorney-client privilege. Okay, next tayo. Termination of engagement. Tandaan natin, no? A client can terminate the engagement of a lawyer at any time. Pwedeng loss of trust and confidence, pwedeng incompetency, pwedeng too expensive, 'di ba? Lahat 'yan, no? The client can terminate the relationship anytime. Okay? Ngayon, next question, can the lawyer terminate the attorney-client privilege because of loss of trust and confidence? The answer is no. Kasi wala po siya sa pinrovide na grounds under SIPRA. Under the SIPRA na merong ABCD hanggang letter G. Wala po dyan yung loss of trust and confidence. Next, can the lawyer terminate? Kasi alam naman natin, by the way, gawa natin ng factual backdrop. Alam naman natin na maraming kliyente nagsisinungaling sa abogado. Sasabihin, hindi pinatay yung kliyente later on. Malalaman mo na pinatay pala niya talaga. O ngayon, ganun na nangyari, di ba nagkaroon na ng engagement. Naniwala si attorney na hindi pinatay ni client yung tao. After 3 years, tumatakbo ni kaso, nalaman niya na pinatay pala ng client niya. Can he terminate the engagement? The answer is no. Okay? Discovery that the client committed the crime is not a ground as provided under the SIPRA. Hindi po. Okay? Ano po yan? Kasalanan ng abogado. Kasalanan ng abogado yan. Hindi mo dapat i-terminate yung attorney-client relationship. It is the lawyer's fault for not vetting his client properly. Okay? May ano po kasi dyan, may mayroong bar question dyan, no? He cannot withdraw his appearance from the case because learning that the client is the perpetrator of the crime is not a good cause to terminate the lawyer-client engagement. Okay. So ano po ba yung mga grounds as provided under the SIPRA? No? Unang-una tandaan natin, it must be for good cause and upon written notice. So bago po, hindi pwedeng out of the blue magte-terminate na lang ng engagement yung abogado. Hindi ganon. Okay? Ngayon, syempre, kung may agreement ng lawyer at saka ng client, sige, terminated na, okay na yun. Di ba? Pero sabihin natin, ayaw ng client. Yun naman ang magiging facts dyan. Ayaw ng client. O despite the rejection of the client, when can the lawyer terminate the engagement? Uunahin natin, dapat may good cause and dapat upon written notice. So, ano ba yung mga good causes as provided under the SIPRA? Una is, when the client pursues, tandaan niyo pursues, hindi pursued. If he pursued an illegal activity before at tapos naging engaged ka as lawyer, hindi yun ground. So kahit na-discover mo sa later on, pero ginawa niyo yun before the engagement of you, before you were engaged. Pero nalaman mo na siya later on, that is not a good cause to terminate. Ang sabi po sa number 1, pursues. So, ibig sabihin, in-engage ka ng client tapos gumawa pa ng criminal activity. Pursues an illegal or immoral course of conduct in connection with the engagement. Ano example? Nag-attempt mag-bribe ng public officer. Ayan, you can terminate. Kasi illegal, immoral, bribery yan eh. Di ba? Makakasali ka pa dyan, no? Next, when the client insists that the lawyer pursue conduct that is violative of these canons and rules. The same. Kung hindi man yung client ang nagbayad, naggusto ganun, dapat gumagawa talaga kayo ng example para maalala nyo. Una, yung client mismo, ang nagbigay ng pera sa public officer. Okay, you can terminate that. Good cause yan. Next, kapag yung client ini-insist na, ikaw ang magbayad sa public officer. Okay, pwede na rin terminate, no? Kasi pareho, sasabit kayong pareho dyan, di ba? Next is, when the lawyer's inability to work, this was a previous bar question, no? When a lawyer's inability to work with a co-counsel will not promote the best interest of the client. Pag medyo may may kakayahang magbayad ng lawyer, nagkakaroon po talaga ng collaborating counsel ang tawag. Hindi co-counsel, baka makita nyo sa bar question, collaborating counsel. If the lawyer cannot work with the collaborating counsel properly, he can terminate the engagement. Next is, when the moral predisposition or the mental or physical condition of the lawyer renders it difficult to carry out the engagement effectively. Wait lang. Okay, I will qualify pala yung sinabi ko. No? Di ba sabi ko, pag nalaman ng abogado, sabihin natin before, no, dinideny nung client nga na pinatay niya yung tao, tapos nalaman later on ng abogado na pinatay, no? So ngayon, that alone, tandaan nyo ha, that alone is not a good cause to terminate the engagement, no? The attorney-client relationship, that is not enough. Pero ito po ang pasok na good cause. Tandaan nyo to when the moral disposition of the lawyer renders it difficult to carry out the engagement effectively. Tandaan nyo yan. If the facts state, ganito, the lawyer, the moral disposition, the lawyer's conscience cannot handle, mga ganyan, no? The admission of the client of the, cannot handle the admission of the client that he killed the offended party, something like that. Pag ano, no? The lawyer cannot, the lawyer's conscience, nakalagay sa facts, cannot handle, ayan, the fact that his client admitted to the killing. Pag mga ganyan ang dialogue doon, pwede natin sabihin may good cause. Kasi the moral disposition of the lawyer rendered it difficult to carry out the engagement effectively. Pero pag ang sinabi lang sa facts na nalaman ng abogado na pinatay, like ito, no? Let's be precise na about it. Question number 12, 20, 16 bar. Okay, ito yung nasa facts, no? Si JB. Ayan. JB engaged the services of Attorney Pete to defend him in a criminal case for murder. During trial, when the defense was presenting its evidence, JB admitted to Attorney Pete that he killed the victim in the case. Attorney Pete withdrew from the case. Yun lang ang sinabi. JB sued Attorney Pete for disbarment, alleging that the latter violated the canons, no? That a lawyer shall observe candor, fairness, and loyalty in all his dealings and transactions with his client, and a lawyer owes fidelity to the cause of his client, and he shall be mindful and trust of the trust and confidence reposed in him by the client. Rule on the case and explain. Kung makikita niyo po sa facts, ang nangyari lang, nalaman lang niya na pinatay ng client, yung biktima. Para sa akin, wala naman po sinabi about the moral disposition, about the conscience, about the virtues, the beliefs of Attorney Pete. So, the discovery alone, the admission alone of the killing is not enough. That is not a good cause. Pero kung sinabi sa facts na Attorney Pete's conscience, yan, cannot handle, no, that he is defending a killer in the case, in a case, in a criminal case, if ganun na sinabi, we can say na that is a good cause. Kasi the moral predisposition. Okay? Kasi we cannot assume something that is not stated, mentioned in the facts. Okay? So yan po, no? I qualify it. Next tayo, letter E. When the client, physical and mental condition, alam nyo na yan, no? Hindi na kayang mag-engage, no? Matanda na, hindi na kayang matanda na, nahihirapan ng gumalaw, mga, you get the point, no? Hindi na natin kailangan pang i-ano yan, i idigdig pa, no? Next, when the client deliberately fails to pay the fees, malamang. Okay, fails to comply with the retainer agreement or can no longer be found despite diligent efforts. Malamang nagtago ni kliyente mo. Di mo ba ito-terminate yan? Kailan po normally mangyayari nagtatago yung kliyente? Kapag mahuhuli. No? Nagtago kasi nakonsensya yung kliyente. No? Siya talaga yung offender. Pwede mo i-terminate. Next is, when the lawyer is elected or appointed to public office, okay, other similar cases. Ayan, no? Tandaan nyo yun, kapag sinabi lang na-discover lang niya na pinatay, nagnakaw, nangabit, pag yun lang ang sinabi, not a good cause. Pero kapag may sinabing his conscience, his religious beliefs cannot handle this admission, ayan, we can say na good cause na yun. Okay? So, we will qualify, no? We will qualify it, i-add natin yun. Okay? Sige. Move tayo to new code of judicial conduct, guys. No? For Philippine judiciary, dalawa lang kailangan yung maalala, no? For the most part, kasi nga, ilan lang naman itatanong sa atin na hypo. Impropriety, ano combo niyan? Personal restrictions. Di ba? That judges must accept personal restrictions. Anyway, we will tackle this further pag nag-discuss tayo. Pangatlo is yung inhibition, voluntary at saka compulsory inhibition. O doon tayo sa impropriety. Okay? Sige. Let's go there. No, patapos na tayo sa ethics, no? So sa impropriety, ano nakalagay dyan? Judges shall avoid impropriety in the appearance of impropriety in all of their activities. Tapos, what does impropriety mean? Lahat, no? Pati appearance, 'di ba? Pati appearance, no? Hindi lang po yung impropriety itself but appearance of doing acts that ano ba? Doing acts. Appearance of doing impropriety. Yan. Also, not allowed, no? What does impropriety mean? A failure to observe standards of honesty, modesty, improper language, behavior, or character. Basically, any misconduct, guys. Okay? Pag sinabi mo impropriety, any misconduct, tandaan nyo, no? Anong example? Pagdadamit ng skimpy outfits, no? Pagdadamit ng revealing outfits. Hindi naman criminal yan, di ba? But, that can be considered as impropriety, no? Because we hold justices, to a higher regard. Okay? Ano pa? Cheating, sexual infidelity, impropriety. Pasok lahat. Para siyang judicial conduct, unlawful, deceitful. Lahat dito sa impropriety. Any misconduct eh. Ano pa? Bribery, corruption. Lahat. Di ba? Ano pa ba? Ginamit yung chamber. Yung chamber sa court, ginamit pang negosyo. Impropriety. Okay? Ngayon, sinabi ko sa inyo may combo yan. Ang combo niyan is ito. Nawala. Sandali lang. Asan yung... Nilay ko rito yun eh. Ayun. Judges must accept personal restrictions. Yan. That might be viewed as burdensome by the ordinary citizen and should do so freely and willingly. Yan. Tandaan niyo magkasali yan. Bakit ano context? Halimbawa, doon sa skimpy outfits. Di ba? Revealing outfits pinost online. No? Legal po yan. Hindi naman yan illegal na activity, di ba? Okay lang magsuot ng ganyan. Kaya lang, i-combine natin sa impropriety and ito. Judges must accept personal restrictions. Di ba? That might be viewed as burdensome by the ordinary citizen. Yes. Kasi ang ordinary citizen, syempre, burdensome sa kanya, hindi siya makapagsuot ng gusto niya isuot. Freedom niya yan, eh. Di ba? Right to liberty nga. Di ba? Kaya lang, as judge, di ba, we are held to a higher regard as a judge, as a justice. Okay? Kaya po yan ang combo na sinasabi ko sa inyo. Okay? Next, no? Yung business, 'di ba? Wala namang problema ng business, 'di ba? Walang problema. Kaya lang magkakaroon ng appearance of impropriety pag nag-business tayo sa chamber, no? Baka isipin ng tao ginagamit natin yung, alam niyo na, facilities, basically, properties, no? Tools ng gobyerno para ma-advance yung business natin. Appearance of impropriety naman. Kahit na legal naman talaga yung business mo. Di ba? And we must accept personal restrictions. Di ba? Viewed as burdensome. Kasi pag empleyado, hindi naman na judge, no? Empleyado ng private company. Di ba? Iba sa sideline. Di ba? Hindi illegal yun. Pero syempre, magagalit yung employer natin. Pero that's not illegal. Okay? Unlike po ito. Di ba? Yan, no? Ano pa yung mga ibang pwede nyo tandaan? Judges shall not use the prestige of the judicial office to advance his private interest. Okay? Next is, judges may engage in other activities if such other activities do not detract from the dignity of the judicial office or otherwise interfere with the performance of judicial duties. Ano important dyan? Detract from the dignity of the judicial office. So, ang isang judge po, pwede namang mag-post ng videos online. Pero syempre, they must be dignified. No? Kailangan dignified po yung video. So, alam niyo naman yung mga content, hindi pwede yung trashy content. No? Kailangan yung legal advice. No? Dalas namang ginagawa yan, no? Radio show, na nag-advise, mga ganyan. No? Something like that. Pwede. Okay. Pero yung Trashy content. Alam niyo na yan, hindi ko na kailangan i-ano sa inyo. Hindi pwede. Unang-una, bakit? Impropriety na naman. Okay? Tapos, combo na naman, personal restriction. O, di ba? Kung gusto niyo pangatlo, kung halimo talaga kay Bibo kayo, ipasok niyo yan. They can engage in activities if such activities do not detract from the dignity of the judiciary. O, di yan. Triple threat kayo. Laki, paano naman kayo hindi maano dyan, di ba? Paano naman kayo hindi makaka 5 over 5 dyan? Okay? Back to back to back. O, di ba? O, next. Na pwedeng itanong sa atin, no? Inhibition. Okay? Tandaan nyo, may dalawang kinds of inhibition, di ba? Voluntary at saka compulsory inhibition. Yung compulsory inhibition, mayroong listahan. Okay? Ngayon, yung listahan, wag muna tayo doon. Doon tayo sa voluntary inhibition. Tandaan nyo, a judge may, in the exercise of his sound discretion, may disqualify himself from sitting in a case, no? For valid reasons, just or valid reasons other than those mentioned in the new Code of Judicial Conduct. Okay? Tandaan nyo ha. Ano yung mga important words? Sound discretion. May voluntarily inhibit, disqualify himself from the case. Okay? For, okay. Nawala ako. For a just reason. So, sound discretion, disqualify himself, valid reason. Other than those mentioned in new Code of Judicial Conduct. Tatlo. Sound discretion, disqualify himself for a valid reason. May dugtong po yan, no? Tandaan nyo to. However, case law dictates that for voluntary inhibition, ayan, it must not be arbitrary, it must not be whimsical. Okay? It must not be arbitrary, it must not be whimsical. Nakalagay nga po dyan, may valid reason dapat. Hindi po pwedeng mag-voluntary inhibit ang judge based on personal reasons. That is not allowed. Okay? Violation po siya ng rules. Okay? Rules of court kasi itong voluntary inhibition eh, no? Tandaan nyo yan ha. Please remember that. Okay? Nakalagay naman valid or just reason, di ba? So ano ba opposite ng valid or just reason? Voluntary inhibition na arbitrary, na whimsical. Kahit for personal reason lang, I don't want to hear this case. Hindi po pwede yun. Okay? Kailangan may valid reason ka. Like ano? Well, yung judge na bahala mag-reason. Kasi po nangyayari dyan, pag nagkaroon kasi ng voluntary inhibition, minsan may nagpa-file ng ano, nagpa-file ng pleading, nagpa-file ng, di pala pleading, nagpa-file ng motion, yung isang party, di ba, praying for the inhibition of the judge. Bakit? May bias daw, may prejudice, mga ganyan. Tapos ilalagay ng judge sa reasoning niya, ba't siya nag-inhibit yun? No? Because the counsel, no, parang in the opinion of the counsel, there was bias or prejudice in the procedure, in the proceeding of this case. So, in the exercise of sound discretion, the judge will inhibit from the case, something like that. Hindi pwedeng personal reasons lang. Kailangan mayroong just or valid reason. Like, halimbawa, ano pa? Sabihin natin, fraternity brother. O, ayan. Yung isang counsel. Ngayon, hindi po siya pasok dun sa compulsory inhibition. Wala. Di ba? So pag wala po siya sa compulsory inhibition, the judge can choose to hear the case or not to hear the case. Di ba? So sabihin natin, nag-file lang motion for inhibition yung kalaban na frat brother mo yan, dapat hindi mo i-hear yung kaso. Option po ng judge yun, discretion po ni judge kung mag-inhibit siya o hindi. O ngayon, kung ayaw niya mag-inhibit, hindi talaga patay tayo dyan. No? Hindi mo talaga pwedeng piliting mag-inhibit yung judge. Okay? O, sabihin naman natin ngayon, nag-inhibit si judge. Can we say na sound discretion yan? Can we say na may valid or just reason? Yes. Kasi hindi lang po personal reason. There was a basis for the voluntary inhibition, which is kasi nga fraternity brothers. Okay? Ano pa? Best friends, mga ganyan, okay? Mayroong evidence yung na mag-best friend sila. Yung opposing counsel, no? Yung isang counsel, best friend ng judge. O de may basis yung kabilang counsel na evidence ka na best friend sila, they can voluntarily inhibit. May just reason, it's not whimsical, it's not arbitrary. Tandaan nyo yan na, so, ani-apat, sound discretion, voluntary disqualify or inhibit himself, valid or just reason, and lastly, not whimsical or arbitrary. Okay? Next tayo sa compulsory inhibition. No? Sa compulsory inhibition may pito. Okay? So una is, the judge has actual bias or prejudice concerning a party or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts concerning the proceedings. Mahirap to. Mahirap to, no? Yung the judge has actual bias. Kasi ano yan, pag kasi sinabi mong compulsory inhibitions, normally yan, the judge himself, judges themselves will disqualify themselves. Judges themselves, judges will disqualify themselves. Okay? Kapag may compulsory inhibition, hindi na kailangan ng motion. Okay? So, isipin niyo, how does that happen? No? Na-feel talaga ni judge, ay, may actual bias ako dito. Ganun ba yun? Diba? Anyway, kung may ganun naman talaga sa facts, so di yun ang sagot nyo. The judge will disqualify him kasi feel niya talaga, in his opinion, may actual bias na siya sa kaso. Okay, next. The judge previously served as a lawyer. O, you get the point, no? Dati lawyer judge na ngayon. Hindi niya pwedeng i-hear yung dati lawyer siya. Do sa legal matter na yan. Or a material witness. Okay. Pero doon tayo sa lawyer. No? Kung matatanong ka sa bar, mas likely yung sa lawyer siya before, naging judge siya ngayon, hindi niya pwedeng i-hear yung kaso na yan. Kasi lawyer siya before, no? In that legal controversy. Next, the judge or a member of his family has an economic interest. Okay, we get the point there. No, next, the judge served as executor. Okay, get. Dati executor siya nung settlement of estate. Sa settlement of estate, siya executor dati. Eh, naging judge. He cannot hear that settlement of estate case. He cannot. Kasi meron na siyang ano dyan may personal knowledge sa dyan sa ano yung mga, di ba, ano yung proceeding dyan kasi executor siya before. Okay? Executor, administrator, guardian, trustee, or lawyer ulit. Okay, so basically naulit na yung lawyer, no? In the case or matter in controversy or a former associate of the judge serve as counsel during their association or the judge or lawyer was a material witness therein. Okay, the judge's ruling in a lower court is the subject of review. Ano po example nito? Ibig sabihin, umangat yung rango ng judge. Sabihin natin dati, judge siya, RTC judge. O later on, nagkaroon siya ng decision sa, ano ba, magandang kaso. Nagkaroon siya ng decision sa action for damages. No? 10 million o yung claim. Sabi niya, in favor of the plaintiff. O, during the appeal period, na-appoint sa Court of Appeals Justice. Okay. Later on, pwede ba niyang i-hear on up yung appeal niya? Sabihin natin, nag-appeal yung defendant sa 10 million. No? Pwede ba siyang umupo? Di ba? Whether sa isang division kasi yan, di ba, pag justices na ng Court of Appeals. Pwede ba siyang umupo doon sa division na yun? Doon sa appeal on that judgment that he rendered in favor of the plaintiff. In this case, appellee na, di ba? Hindi po pwede. Kasi, yan nga, no, under number 5, his ruling in the lower court is the subject of review. Number 6, the judge is related. Ito, tandaan nyo to ha. Related by consanguinity or affinity to a party litigant within the 6th civil degree. Grabe ang layo. 6th civil degree, pati pinsang buo kasali. Okay, bilangan natin ha. Ilan ba yun? Sino ba mga... Anyway, di ko na pa kailangan isulat dito. Type natin. Who are relatives within the 6th civil degree? O yan. Pati affinity kasali ha. Third cousins, guys. Third cousins. Grabe. Okay? So, ano, malayo talaga. Okay? Basically, pisang buo, kasali dyan. Okay? Pisang makalawa, kasali. Tama ba tayo sa ano? Wait lang nga. Tama ba yung six civil degree na yun? We need to make sure. Sandali lang. Paano ba nagkakaroon ng pisang makatatlo? Baka medyo malayo ata yun na. Sandali lang. Ito. Ano ba nagkakaroon ng third cousin, guys? Anak ng pinsang makalawa. Tama. Ayan, sabihin natin, ito yung ninuno. May dalawang anak. O, yung dalawang anak, may isang anak. Matapos ito, may anak ulit isa. Isa-isa lang sila mag-anak. O, ayan, isa-isa lang sila mag-anak. Ilang pinsang ba ito? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yun na nga. O, ito. Ay, hindi pisa makatatlo. Hanggang pisa makalawa lang. Mali yung ano na yun. Mali yung nakita ko sa Google. Second cousin lang. Ito yung basically common ascendant. So ano na to? Lolo sa tuhod. No? Tagalogin natin. Lolo sa tuhod. O bilang tayo mula dito sa baba. Ito yung ano, ito yung judge ha. Ito si judge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. O di pinsang makalawa pala. Hindi napakalayo ng makatatlo guys. Napakalayo nung pinsang makatatlo. Mali yun. Okay, mali yun. 6 civil degree is second cousin. Tama, kasi ito, first cousins yan. Ay, first cousins. Brothers, siblings to. Ito, first cousins, no? Kasi anak ng magkapatid, di first cousins yan. O, anak naman ng first cousins, second cousins. O, yun na nga. Okay? Hanggang second cousin lang po. Third cousin, pwede na. Grabe naman yung third cousin, napakalayo na, di ba? Okay, kapitbahay na lang yun. Hindi na ata cousin dapat. Joke lang, no? Hanggang second cousin. Okay, nakalagay po dito, no? Kapag party litigant, seek civil degree. Whether consanguinity or affinity. So, second cousin in-law, kasali din. Pag counsel, fourth civil degree. Pag counsel, ito po, party litigant to, no? Pag lawyer po, mas maliit. No? Mas maliit yung coverage, no? So, sino po ba ang fourth civil degree? Yan na yung pinsang buo. Bilangan ulit natin. No? Bilangan ulit natin. Ano ba yan? Nag-persons in family relations na tayo sa wills and succession. Nasa ethics lang tayo. Napunta na sa degree-degree. O ganun ulit. Common ancestor, di ba? Magkapatid. Ayan. Pinsang buo. Bilang tayo ha, first cousin sila, di ba? First cousins, no? Siblings. Bilang. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? First cousins po, fourth civil degree. Okay, ito si judge. So pag lawyer, ang kamag-anak hanggang first civil degree lang. Kapag yung lawyer is second civil degree mo relative, whether consanguinity or affinity, hindi na po compulsory inhibition. Pwede voluntary, sige. Kung ano, no? Discretion lang naman ng judge yun. Pwede. At valid reason yun. Kasi tama nga naman, kahit pa paano, magkamag-anak pa rin kayo. At di na nga magkakaklose na second degree cousins, di ba? Pero sa compulsory purposes, pag lawyer, hanggang fourth civil degree lang. O kapag party litigant, mas malayo po. Second, cousin, pasok. Compulsory inhibition yan. Whether consanguinity or affinity. So consanguinity is blood, affinity is marriage. Pasok pareho. Okay? We good, we good. O, next tayo, no? Last two. Ay, last one pala. The judge knows that his or her spouse or child has a financial interest. Okay, so economic interest din yan, no? Parang umulit, no? In the subject matter, in controversy, or in a party to the proceeding, or any other interest that could be substantially affected by the outcome of the proceedings. Okay. So we get the point, no? Tandaan nyo dyan, sa CIPRA na yan, no? Sa compulsory inhibition, ang tatandaan nyo lagi, yung number 2, the judge previously served as a lawyer. Saka yung number 5, the judge's ruling in a lower court is the subject matter of review or the subject of review. And lastly, ito. Ayan. Okay? Tandaan niyo yung mga kamag-anak na yan. Ito yung pwede itanong sa inyo kasi pahihirapan kayo eh. Madali lang economic interest. Makikita niyo sa fraction, obviously. May interest yung judge dun sa subject matter. Bakit siya? Sabihin natin, heir siya. Si judge. But hindi niya pwedeng i-hear yung settlement of estate case kung isa din siya sa mismo magmamana ng kaso. Ay magmamana ng estate nung decedent. Hindi pwede yun. Diba? Mga ganun, no? Yun ang medyo mas likely na itanong sa inyo kung pahirapan kayo sa ganyan, no? Pero yung mga syempre, contract of sale, isa sa party si judge. Alam naman ba't siya mag-hear niyang annulment of sale? Sabihin natin, no, annulment of contract. Eh siya nga isa sa parties doon, hindi pwede. Kasi may economic interest siya. Or pwedeng yung asawa niya or pwedeng anak niya. Pwedeng asawa niya ang party doon sa contract of sale na i-annul. O pwedeng yung anak niya, hindi pwede. Okay? O ngayon, party litigan. Kaya nga, doon pasok na eh. No? Alam niyo, tingnan niyo, nakalagay dyan, yung kanyang asawa o yung kanyang anak is may financial interest or economic interest. Kapag may economic o financial interest yung asawa o yung anak, likely, party litigant yan. Kaya ito dapat ang tandaan nyo. Malamang yung asawa mo o yung anak mo, pasok yan dito sa party litigant, 6 civil degree. Pasok yan, di ba? So kahit na hindi nyo na-invoke yung economic interest na yun, kung yung anak nyo party to the case, yun ay gagamitin yung ground. Di ba? Hindi na kailangan yung may economic interest yung asawa o yung anak o yung mismong judge. Wag na yun. Pwede ito na lang din, di ba? O, di ba? Ulitin ko, pag may economic interest yan, likely, party to the case. Pwede ito papasok, party litigant siya. O halimbawa, ay lawyer na may asawa, o lawyer anak. O di dito papasok, fourth civil degree naman. The lawyer is a relative by consanguinity or affinity within the fourth civil degree of the judge. Kaya yan ang powerful nga na sinasabi ko sa inyo. So ulitin ko, ano yung tatlo nyo kailangan tandaan dyan? Previously served as a lawyer si judge in the matter of controversy. The judge's ruling in the lower court is the subject of review. And lastly, the party litigant is a relative by consanguinity or affinity by the judge, no, within the sixth civil degree, second cousin, or for lawyers, fourth civil degree, consanguinity or affinity. This ends our discussion for ethics. Tandaan nyo ha, yung ano, ilalagay natin lahat sa pre-week reviewer, yung practical exercises. Please, basahin ng basahin, paulit-ulit. Wala tayong magagawa guys, kailangan pagtsagaan yan. Memory work talaga siya. Okay, talagang yun lang talaga gagawin, no? Yun lang din kasi ginawa ko nun, no? Ayan, thank you guys. See you tayo sa next topic ulit, next subject. Uulitin ko, I will discuss all 8 subjects for pre-week, no? Kakayanin natin yan. Okay? Salamat po.